Tell me about it.
Good.
Well, how things going for you guys? A lot of progress, it sounds like, being made out there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Like that, again, the effort, the energy level that our guys come every day with. You get to this point now, you're ending your third week of full practices. Guys start getting tired of beating up on each other a little bit, but with about 10 more practices left before we actually officially open it up, I like where we're at right now, but today's a big day again. We had a day off yesterday, come back, bounce back, and have a good, hard practice today, and keep getting better. Keep guys starting to understand their roles a little bit as that becomes more defined as we move forward.
Coach, I'm going to just take one more step.
Okay.
The sign keeps moving on.
Yeah.
We got it
Yeah.
on the other side.
Okay. Well, make sure you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the words I've heard are connected and together. Pretty good words to have for a team with so many new guys.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big key. The unselfishness. We have a group of unselfish players. We really do. I always tell them, sometimes when you talk about that, it usually always refers to the offensive end, but being unselfish defensively is important too, and that's where guys trusting each other, being connected, knowing where guys are going to be on the court, trusting the rotations and different things like that, but also just having a good feel for how we work together and what we need to get done together. Everybody's got a specific job on every single possession, and the better you do your individual job, the better we will be as a team. So we're making some progress in that. That always takes some time, because again, it's just not with the 10 new guys. It's everybody's new, and so getting accustomed to how we want to do things, doing it on a daily basis is always the challenge.
But some of the guys are saying they're starting to sound like you a little bit out there.
Yeah. Hopefully, your life follows your speech, hopefully, and so the more they talk about it, the more they actually live it. But we are making progress, so I'm pleased where we're at right now.
Coach, that year you spent as an advisor last year between Tech and here, what did you learn about yourself as a coach, and what are you bringing here to the table now that you're here at USF?
It was a great year. There's a lot of professions out there where you're able to kind of do that, take a year off, so to speak, a sabbatical for the professors here on campus and different things like that. For me, it was fantastic, just in terms of, on a personal level, reconnecting with my family a little bit. This profession sometimes is tough on that, but also reconnecting with a guy who I have an unbelievable amount of respect for, and honored to be one of his assistants during the run that we had when I was there, and to go back to Michigan State. You confirm some things that you're doing right, but you also are able to make some adjustments and some things that you would do differently, or how you handle different situations, all that stuff. It was a really good educational process for me, but also it also kind of got the energy flowing again and the juices flowing again to get back on the court. The best time of the day is during these next 3 hours of practice, and anytime you're in the gym one-on-one with the guys and watching their development, them grow. I think any coach would tell you that, and just you be able to get back into it with a good group of guys has been really, really satisfying.
What was the biggest thing you learned in your year off about yourself?
I love coaching. I grew up in a family where education and impacting people's lives is important. My father was an educator. My mom was a counselor. I saw them do that, change people's lives in their job, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then during that year off, that's something that you kind of miss. You're starting to see guys, making progress as students, making progress as men, and then obviously making progress as players as well.
Coach, can you talk about your post guys, particularly Isaiah Madison, who looks like he might be your best inside scorer?
He's been terrific since day one that we took over the job. He's kind of refocused. Had a tough year last year, playing in only, I think, 5 games. Sometimes, when you're put in a situation that a change happens, you see it as a great opportunity, and he's done that. He's gotten in much better shape, much better conditions, gotten stronger. He's still learning exactly where sometimes his shots come from. He's an aggressive offensive player, which I like. Sometimes I got to tone it down a little bit for him. But as I've said time and time again, I'd rather have to cool somebody down than try to heat him up. And he's been a guy who's been very, very consistent offensively for us, and at the same time improving every day dramatically defensively. It's not football where he's just a wide receiver that catches passes. He's got to play defense too. But he's getting it. He really is. He's getting it. So I'm pleased with his progress. I'm pleased with his improvement in his daily habits.
And Nick?
Nick is, the one thing that's interesting about Nick is, he played the half year at New Mexico and then transferred, played 1 year at the junior college. But before that, he only played, I think, 3 or 4 years prior to getting to the United States. So he doesn't have a huge basketball background. He didn't start playing when he was 6 years old or whatever the case might be. So every day is a lot of new stuff for him. And the direction that he receives, he's very, very good at absorbing that, understanding that, and then trying to put that into the practice, into his game. And with big guys, sometimes you got to be a little more patient, and he's one of those guys where you're starting to see daily improvements that is only going to help us this year. But I think he's one of those guys whose ceiling is really high due to the fact that he doesn't have the same basketball experience as some of the other players.
Thanks.
Anything else? All right.
Sir.
That was easy.